In the video on the module 710 Ports Business, we had the opportunity to mention the variety of entities and processes related to port activities. Just remembering.
In one hand, there are the services to the ship, maneuvers, bunkering, crew care. And on the other hand, there are the services to the cargoes, most notably shipping, loading and discharge, unloading, storage, reception, delivery, control procedures at the main gate, entrance, and transportation.
We shall focus on the planning of cargo handling in this video.
Let us remind you that the business process ends up by passing the accomplishment of what has been negotiated on to the planning stage. The plans are elaborated at the planning stage. The corresponding batches of cargoes, goods, are recorded in connection with the initial plan. Those batches shall form the basis for all operations with cargoes. There are therefore two distinct stages: planning, definitions, and implementation, accomplishment. Both focus on the same categories: operations, micro-operations, batches, and so on. But in one of them, planning, the data relating to the former are recorded in the system and the resources are allocated bonded. And in the other one, implementation, the tasks are accomplished and the resources used.
Let us address planning then. The part regarding the implementation shall be addressed in the following modules: M730 Ports Dock Operations, M740 Ports Stocks Parking. Let us see the base menu of this module.
There are on the left ships under call operations at the port, which are important for the planning stage, especially the port calls, since the planned operations are aimed at actual port calls. The initial plan is actually obtained by selecting the micro-operations from the proposal, which will be carried out in a given port call operation. Here are therefore the budgets, then the shipping and discharge plans, and also the plans for export warehouses. Both the shipping and discharge are aimed at actual ships and port calls. The plans for export warehouses relate solely to the reception of goods that will be accumulated according to the composition at some point of actual shipment of batches in conjunction with customs. In the middle are batches of cargoes for shipping and discharge, batches which are from large typical families of cargoes at ports: general cargoes, solid bulks, ro-ro vehicles, and containers. We can see on the right the prior allocation of resources required for handling cargoes, as well as the allocation of facilities for the proper parking storage. It also displays and adjusts the resources and facilities allocated per port call. It is an area which is not our priority in this video, since the issue of allocation of equipment is addressed in the video on the
It is necessary to keep a minimum record of ships as well as relevant information about the operations related to the port calls. Please note that the concept of port calls, although usually referring to ships, does not apply only to them. In the example shown below, we shall see that this concept is also used for trains, for instance. Let us see that.
Let us access the ships screen. We request the list and that's it. Here are the minimum basic elements when it comes to dealing with ships: call sign, IMO number, name of ship, flag state, type of traffic, port of registry, type of ship, length of ship, maximum draft, and maximum breadth. These data are usually enough to meet anyone's needs, but others can be added as well. Let us take a look at the port calls. The core information about it is summarized in here. We can see that the schedule of operations is grouped by days. There is in this column the port of call code and its reference date. Here is the customs countermark, which is the code assigned to the operation by the customs office at the port call. Note that, in order to promote operational flexibility, we offer a port call code that we run 100%. However, we must respect and keep the code assigned by the customs office for later procedures. The reason for call, the date of arrival, that progresses from ETA to ATA, the origin, country, port and terminal, the date of departure, which also progresses from estimated to actual, the destination country, port and terminal, the call sign and name of ship, along with some important remarks such as the shipping agent, forwarder, technical issues such as the draft at the times of arrival and departure, and some other ones. Note that this information may be more or less relevant according to the needs of the organization that is using this module. If it is a port authority that deals with dispatching ships, these data and other ones are important. If it is just a port operator who does not deal with that, less information is required. Another remark is that in the first line, there is a port call operation about a train and not a ship. Of course, trains do not have individual names like ships do, but there may be reference to them such as Southern Train, Northern Train, referring to the origin, or Soy Train, referring to the cargo, in order to identify them. In case more data about the port call operation are needed, we see that there is more information that can be entered. By clicking on the plus sign to insert a new port call operation, we see that there
Let us now address an activity that is typical of planning itself. Everything begins with the budget's proposals that are forwarded to the production department. Depending on the status code of the budget, the planning stage identifies whether this is only a technical validation of a proposal under preparation or a proposal that has been already approved by the customer and which is to be implemented. If it is a validation issue, the micro-operations are analyzed in order to check if they are well defined so as to achieve the intended purpose. And so the command for approval and return of the proposal to the business department is given. We shall see next two budgets to prepare, one regarding shipment and the other one regarding export warehouse. This is a way to work 100% on the web, on which budgets and proposals can be made from anywhere, anytime, and immediately sent to the customer.
Let us move on to production budgets. By choosing this option, we can access the criteria screen to form our work list. We shall choose one of our customers, DemoShip.org. And here are the latest production budgets for DemoShip.org. We have in here budgets to prepare. They are to be prepared because they are identified by the XC status, which means they have been approved by the customer. What the planning stage contemplates on proposals, operations, and micro-operations is all that has been prepared at the business stage, except for the prices, which are not seen from the perspective of planning stage. There is in here a shipment of general cargo, indicating it is a cargo of marble blocks, discharge of fruit, pelletized fruit, steel rods, discharge of wooden poles, etc. Here on the right, there is a set of commands where an action related to this operation can be executed by simply clicking on it. Let us see what it is about by using a help system and by placing the cursor on them. Move on to the business stage. Jump to micro operations. Jump to initial plan. Jump to final plan. And jump to export warehouse plan. Let us illustrate the use of the following commands. Jump to micro operations and jump to plans. Let us see two proposals now. Here we have the proposal 414. That is a very simple one, as we shall see. I click in here and soon have access to the micro operations. And what is there in here? Basically, some micro operations related to uncovered parking, handling of cargo, and towards the end, some micro operations such as weighing, etc. Here we see the proposal 400, that is about steel in general, namely steel rods. We can see that by clicking, there are many more items. Actually, there are 102 items when I scroll the page down. Going back to the top of the page, we see more micro operations. Receptions, landed discharge, traffic from berthing pier to parking, direct discharge to trucks, discharge at parking facility, landing, lading, sorting, etc. In short, a whole set of specialized micro operations about steel imports, in this case, steel rods. Based on the budget sent by the business department, the planning department already knows what has been proposed. What the planning department has to do now is draw up plans to carry out specific operations.
We shall elaborate the shipping plans, the initial and final plans, based on their budgets.
The planning department is already aware of these budgets. Now they will receive instructions from the customer, agent, or any other authorized party to deal with an actual cargo under the conditions set forth in one of these budgets, typically for shipment or discharge. Along with these instructions comes the identification of the cargo, the ship, and the port call, and therefore the dates on which the shipment or discharge will be carried out. This element is usually the BL, which is the Standard Cargo Manifest to support this type of operations. Based on these instructions and the specific contents of the BL, the planning department chooses the budget at issue and moves on to their micro operations. I need to use these 4 micro operations as per the instructions and BL I have in hand. Here's the number 17. Cargo from the parking facility assigned to the product P1107, which are marble or stone blocks. Number 20. Receptions at the parking facility, also for the product P1107, and 2 weighing procedures, when the truck is loaded and empty. After selecting these micro operations, I give the command to generate the initial plan. A window is opened, and so I indicate the type of operation. When I put the mouse cursor over the field and click on it, the system opens a help window displaying the existing types: cargo to park terminal, direct cargo, indirect cargo, etc. I will select indirect cargo because it will be an indirect shipment of marble blocks. By indirect shipment, we mean it will not be from the truck onto the ship, but from the truck to the park, and then from the park onto the ship. I also indicate the type of cargo batch. When I put the mouse cursor over the field and click on it, an instant help is displayed: general cargo, shipping, solid bulk shipping, ro-ro shipping, etc. I select general cargo shipping. Now the port call. I ask for help. I choose this option. I do not indicate any specific responsible party for this plan, and then I click on the OK button. OK, this plan has been generated. I go to the menu of Initial Plans, and the plan I generated is here, number 674. That's at the top because it is the latest one. I will insert some data. I go to the commodity field and ask for help, and the system automatically suggests marble blocks because it identifies which operation I'm dealing with. I fill in the data, and click on the OK button. Thus, the batch has been associated to the BL. This is done in a certain period of time prior to the date of shipment. I could also allocate the necessary resources for this operation on that date. But let us leave it this way because I already have a plan. Closer to the operation date, I set the final plan that is going to be used for good, because many things change in a part context, starting with the dates, which are very seldom set definitely. There is a command to generate the final plan. I run it, and a window is opened. And here I can adjust the start and end dates. I can ask for the calendar that is available in all date fields of this application. And I click on the OK button. The final plan has been generated. I can move on to the final plans on the menu and view it. Here it is, 674. If I jump to the micro operations, here they are. And so is the batch. Here they are. I could now make some final adjustments to the plan. That's because these are issues related to actual conditions of the circumstances and the cargo which may require some adjustments. For instance, some additional lashing of the cargo may be necessary as new information comes from the ship, and so that the micro operation will have to be included in the plan. As soon as the final plan is ready, it will be executed. This is where the dock operations come into play, but this will be addressed by another module in a separate video. There are, however, still very important things to be dealt with. For instance, the customs issue. The batch still needs to be updated as per customs authorizations and documents, and there are still other issues to take into consideration.
We shall work now on the plan of the export warehouse based on its budget.
Export warehouses exist in many ports and allow exporters to store their cargoes with a minimum of formality so they can be exported later on. General cargoes entering the port have already met a set of customs requirements. This is not the case when it comes to warehouses, or rather, there is only a minimum requirement. For instance, a statement issued by the entity that manages the export warehouse asserting a given cargo has been stored in there, having as destination a particular country. Later on, and whenever the exporter pleases, customs procedures will be dealt with so the cargo stored in the export warehouse form irregular batches of shipping. That is, with a ship and port call scheduled for them, customs documents issued, etc. So in this case, we must also run a proper command. We can see from the beginning that there is a difference in the generation of the other plans. We do not have to indicate the port of call. In fact, we do not know what the port call and ship are for that particular cargo or batches of cargo. We click on the OK button and the plan is generated. There is no need to do anything else. The plan is now available and it will allow the entry of the cargoes at export warehouse for this particular operation. One of the differences between shipment plans and export warehouse plan is that the batches do not have to be immediately associated at the export warehouse. Indeed, the batches of export warehouse plans are formed as the cargoes move into the export warehouses. All these issues explained further in the video of the module 765.
One of the critical tasks of planning with regard to shipping and discharge plans is associating batches of cargoes or goods to the operations at issue. These batches should be seen both as cargoes, along with their relevant features in order to be handled and to value and bill out the services associated with this handling. But they also should be seen as goods, along with all the implications, particularly in terms of customs and taxes. In fact, the customs and tax treatment of the batches is an essential part of the whole process. The handling of goods follows strict procedures and requires great responsibility in terms of customs and taxes. Part of these procedures is addressed in the videos on the modules on customs and importers-exporters. Nevertheless, regarding this module, which is primarily oriented to port operators, it is essential to learn how customs issues are managed when it comes to handling batches, since goods cannot be handled, loaded and unloaded, enter or leave a dock without going through some given customs procedures and without bringing forward customs documents so as to confirm them. This part regarding customs is one of the specificities of port logistics in respect of logistics in general. So let us move on to batches.
Batches of cargoes may comprise one or many rows. There are cases, as in automobiles, in which the batches have to individually identify, row by row, hundreds of automobiles or even more, along with their chassis numbers and other accurate data. For these cases, it's not feasible to enter one by one. The usual procedure is to get a file with the data of all the automobiles at issue, and so the batch for export is then loaded. For that reason, there is the import command. I run the command and the system opens a window so the file can be imported. I click here to select the file to be imported, and the batch is automatically loaded with the data from the file. Let us now see how to insert a batch and take the time to give a more accurate idea of its content. We shall see a batch of solid bulk to be shipped. We choose the Shipping Batches SB option. Let us take a look at the operation 543. I click on the plus sign in order to add a row to that batch. We just have to enter the data now. This is definitely a shipping batch of solid bulk, as we can see. All these fields are protected and have been filled earlier at the operation stage, coming from the previously generated plan. All these fields concerning customs are also protected because they are filled only at the customs office or by whomever the customs assign for that purpose. Let us see in detail in the module 770, Ports Customs. We must indicate the type of commodity. For this, we have a very intelligent help at our disposal. We click in here and obtain a single option, pallets. This is because the system identifies which operation I'm dealing with. Then we enter the weight, and/or we indicate here if some sort of weighing has to be done. We could choose B to indicate that it should be weighed in a scale. The recipient's and exporter's names can also be changed as opposed to the system's suggestions. And we finally have to indicate the BL of the shipping batch. And that's it. This is the basic procedure to insert a row of a batch. Everything is stored in the system, so the port calls, timing, and resources, for example, can be properly planned. That information is also used to deal with customs issues. In our module on customs, we can directly access these batches and record their respective customs documents, or check whether the entity with the customs office accredited to handle these registration issues is doing it well. In a shipping case, such as this one, where the cargoes have entered the port along with the necessary customs documents, Customs Office often assigns the registration of these documents to the port operator and just check them. It would be different if we were dealing with a discharge batch, in which case the customs documents are usually issued after landing or while the cargoes are still within the port, and/or possibly at a customs-bonded warehouse. Then the system would control everything in a real-time synchronization with customs. For example, this would prevent cargoes to be taken out of the port without authorized customs documents, and/or without the prior approval of customs. This real-time handling of batches in conjunction with customs is, as mentioned, an essential requirement that distinguishes our solutions from others available in the market. Finally, everything is stored in the system so as to meet the needs of the dock operations that will follow, thus increasing the productivity of the process and avoiding mistakes. In this case, the dock operations that will follow concern the shipment of this batch. Our video about the Module 730
We have presented in this video the Module 720, Parts Planning, along with the necessary details for a first assessment by your organization. It should be emphasized that the implementation can be carried out in stages. We can start out with the appropriate logistics and customs treatment of the batches of cargoes or goods, leaving the resource issue up to the second stage. What usually happens is that there are already some resources management practices based on day-to-day experience, and these, despite of being formal ones, may still be enough at the first stage of the process at small ports, where there are few resources to manage. We remind you that the dialogue can be deepened so we can better analyze our needs and our answers to them. We and the network of partners that we integrate are fully prepared to listen to and support you.